Okay, all right. So I guess at this time would it be appropriate for us to talk about what's the reason why I decided to retire early in the first place? Of course, achieve financial independence, as well as creating this YouTube channel. So it was just like any other year. I was working long hours, uh, often being the first one in the office and the last one to leave. Back in the day, everyone was going to the office every single day, getting home, having dinner, putting another an hour, 2 hours sometimes, catching up on emails, make sure the work was moving, things were delivered. And also on the weekend, right? Saturday has always been, for the most part, a business, a work day for me. So kind of working over the weekend. So work demanded all my time and energy. When I wasn't working, I was shopping for deals online, going for those website deals, or scrolling through social media, seeing if I could get the latest. After all, I felt like I deserved it, right? I had put long hours during the week, so I had earned the right to buy whatever I want. Then March 2020 comes along, right? COVID hits, boom, it's panics everywhere. Everybody trying to understand what was going on. The businesses, the works were, ordering supplies. So all of a sudden, big corporations with thousands of employees were actually having to accommodate for everyone to work remotely. So after the initial shock, right, and trying to understand what was going on, I started to notice a few things in my own life. So first of all, I was waking up before the alarm clock. Almost every day I was waking up, I was fully rested, I was energized, I was ready to roll, motivated, which wasn't really that common for me. And on top of that, I was just taking the time to do my stretching, do my exercise. All of that was kind of going on, and that's something that I wasn't really used to, because before I was just waking up, barely get a cup of coffee if I could, just sit in traffic for 2 hours, don't eat anything or get something on the go that wasn't healthy and wasn't really that good, first of all. So the other thing that I noticed as well was I had money left over every week. I was kind of checking my account and like, well, there's a lot of money. And then the money was piling up. Much of that was because there was nowhere to go, or no place to go shopping, or where to spend the money. But the money was really piling up. And then for the first time, what I noticed too was I was enjoying seeing the money sitting and growing on my account and going to investments rather than spending money, right? And the other thing that I noticed as well for me was I wasn't missing anything like that. Going out to eat, go to a sit-down restaurant, and all the convenience of being served, and or even like going through strolls through the shopping malls, the store on the weekends to get the deals and buy a lot of crap. I wasn't really missing that at all. And then I started asking myself, look, I'm living better. I have money left over. I don't miss those things. I actually don't really enjoy those things, first of all, which I thought that I did. And then I realized that over the years, I was just working my ass off, climbing through the corporate ladder, getting promotions, and getting more assignments, and moving up. So then I asked myself like two kind of basic questions. What do I truly love in life, right? What really gets me energized? What do I look for each year? What are the things that keep me in great spirits? I was like, well, let's kind of think about it. And the other question was, do I see myself working on the same pace for, until I'm like 55, 60, 65 or older? And like the 9 to 5 is really not 9 to 5. We end up putting 10, 12 hours a day and hours on the weekend. So do I see myself kind of, working through that pace? The first question was pretty easy to answer, right? I knew that I didn't want to continue going out to eat a lot. I didn't care about shopping at all. And what really kind of I cherish in life is spending time in nature. Anything that's nature related, being surrounded in nature, And also the other thing that I appreciate is basically being active, right? Often in nature, that's what I would kind of aim for. So then combining nature and exercise and being active, like, okay, that's what I really care. And the question number two, do I see myself working until I'm like 55, 60, 65? Like, I realized that that wasn't really sustainable, right? You cannot sustain, you know, 60, 70, 80 hours week every week. So one thing became crystal clear to me. I needed to come up with an exit plan. I need to come up with some sort of strategy to get out of the rat race. Eventually, at some point, leave that crazy world so I could enjoy what I really love the most, which is nature and being active and all of that. So basically what I did is I took a deep dive into the world of personal finance, early retirement, and all of that. So I read all the blogs that was out there at that time. I read a lot of books as well, a ton of YouTube content on personal finance, early retirement. At that time, I came across the FIRE community, right? So I was like, what the FIRE? What is that about, right? Financial independence, retire early. And then all of a sudden, it was like a perfect match. So I was like, okay, that's what I really needed for me. So after months of kind of getting all the content, understanding, studying, and kind of trying to see what would be applicable to my own situation. Of course, everyone's situation is different, right? So I was like, okay, I think I can implement, and that's what I did. So I created a 3-step process that I then incorporated from that time on, and then I've been doing this religiously every day, every month, year after year. The first one, I continue to work hard and smart. I'll continue to try to add value to my teams, right? To my teammates, to my company, my clients. I then look for every single opportunity to get more assignments, get more opportunities to increase my income. So the first one was increase the income, right? You can actually look into side hustles, or maybe pick up another shift depending on what kind of job you do. So there's different ways of increasing your income. So that's number one, increasing your income, right? Number two, I track my expenses, all my expenses, and then I created a budget. So after I tracked my expenses for the first couple of months, I went through and I slashed a lot of expenses that wasn't really adding anything to my life. So the third step in the process, I learned how to effectively manage money, right? So you're earning money, you're saving money, but then what do you do with that money, right? Which is the difference. So I learned how to invest money, whether it's a brokerage account or a traditional IRA, Roth IRA. Also, what kind of investments you could start as a beginner. Index funds is a big one out there. Very low management fee, very low cost, easy. ETFs, another one, right? Even some individual stocks. And then when you take money out, right, what's the impact? And also, as the money sits there over the years and grow, does it grow tax deferred, right? So there are different things that I learned how to benefit or maximize the savings that I have. So by focusing on those 3 steps simultaneously on a daily basis, I was able to pay off my debt in just a year and a half, and I'm on the verge of achieving financial independence, and just 3 years shy of retiring early at age 50. And remember this: no one is coming to save you, not your family, not your friends, definitely not your employer, and not the government. There will be no bailout for you, right? So you better take finances seriously and come up with a plan. And some people they don't like the FIRE ideology or the FIRE idea, because they don't want to retire early. That's fine. If you want to continue working until you're 60, 65, 70, 90, whatever, at least be in a position to first achieve financial independence as soon as possible, and also be in a position where work become optional for you, right? You decide, yeah, I'll continue working because I want to, and if one day you wake up and well, I don't feel like I want to do that anymore, you can quit that day. If you're finding value in this content, please click the like button below and subscribe so you can be notified when new videos come out. It also helps the channel, so YouTube sends the links and sends the information to more people out there. So underneath those three big pillars that I just mentioned before, over the years, I developed some habits, like I call the tiny habits, that really kept me on track on a daily basis. Actually, I recently did a video on that. If you want to hear about the 12 tiny habits that made it all possible, click on this link that's going to appear next. That's coming up right now.